My guest today is professional futsal player. He plays for Birmingham Futsal Club at club level and has represented England with the national team. In his debut tournament, he won the Home Nations tournament in 2019. Welcome, Munmeet Jagpal.
Thank you.
No worries, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Good. So what I'd like to do is just jump in straight, take it all the way back to your childhood and what it was like growing up.
Yeah. So grew up mainly playing football like in the park and stuff like that. And then my dad used to take me to my parents used to take me to like games and like sessions on Saturdays and stuff like that. And then yeah, it just recognized that I was decent, and yeah, it just took me more and more, and I enjoyed playing football really. So I played football a lot when I was growing up.
Yeah. So did you transition from football and then into futsal?
Yeah, football. Yeah, then into futsal.
So like
So
how
I
does
started
that
playing futsal around like 9, 8, 9, um,
how long were
and
you playing football before then?
probably about 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So it was just me just playing, mixing it a bit as well when I was like 9, playing futsal and football.
Hmm.
Um, and then like I used to play for West Brom as well
Oh, okay.
at the age of like under nines, and then I left at the under 12s, and I just carried on playing futsal and football really.
Because you're from the West Brom area, aren't you?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what was it like growing up there? Because it's quite a multicultural sort of place.
yeah. So there's a lot of Asian players playing there. There was quite a few in the academy actually, not in my year group, but like in other age groups.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so yeah, it was nice playing for the academy and stuff. Like it was a good level, and yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah.
How come you left the age 12?
It was under 12s. I
Yeah.
got released at under 12s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But you were already playing futsal by that point,
yeah. Before that,
way
because
before that.
yeah, because when you're that age, you normally play um like five-a-side football anyway. So
Right. Okay.
so when
So
you're younger, you don't, yeah.
did you get into futsal to help like improve, or was it just like you were a kid and you just want to play as much as possible and get out as much as
Yeah,
possible?
it was to like help my technical ability, and to play as much games as possible really.
Hmm.
So yeah, to get most minutes as possible. So that's why I did it.
Fair play. And then did West Brom have a futsal team as well as?
No, it was just that was separate. That was just football. But they did have like futsal tournaments against other academies. They did
Right.
do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, so just the differences between football and futsal, just for anybody who doesn't know, could you quickly explain like some of the
Yeah.
main ones?
So it's basically like five-a-side. Um, you five-a-side. The goalkeepers they wear they don't wear gloves or anything like that. So it's just hands. When you take a kick in, so instead of a throw in,
Hmm.
you kick it in, and you have 4 seconds to kick it in. Um, yeah, that's basically what it is. So it's like five-a-side, but it's just five-a-side football really. But it's more technical and it's more fast-paced than
It's
football.
it's got like a smaller and heavier ball as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. The ball's small and it's a lot heavier.
So does that help you work on like dribbling and technique in
Yeah,
that
so it's
aspect as well?
less the ball's less in the air and it's more on the ground. So
Right.
that's what it is. Yeah.
I seen one of the things was like if you've got a red card, you can sub a player after like 2 minutes, or the other team scores. I didn't really understand that rule. So,
No, if you got a red card, you're sent off. Like that's normal.
oh really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's,
okay.
yeah,
I probably looked at some dodgy source then.
yeah.
um, and then how long when you got into futsal? How long before you started playing for like a team?
Well, I played for like the Birmingham under 14s. I used to on Fridays we used to do tournaments like every week against like other clubs, like just like a mini little tournament. So the manager is like the manager of the senior team now,
Hmm.
of and that's how I basically got into Birmingham. So
Right.
I knew him.
And then
Yeah.
you just progressed through the age ranks.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So what age around roughly was that?
So it was like probably about under 13s to under 16s, and then I got into the first team probably about 3 years ago. So when I was like 16.
Right, cool.
Yeah.
And then like the futsal scene like in the UK, is it big? Is it like
No, it's very small compared it's like, especially compared to other countries like Brazil
yeah,
and all these South American countries. It's quite small. Like, it's not really recognized as an important sport. Like
yeah.
so
I've seen recently though there's a few with the FA stuff that we're going to come on to in a minute. There's quite a lot of professionals who did play futsal like growing up as well, just to supplement like you did,
yeah
supplement the technique and stuff. So
yeah
I was confused whether if it was or wasn't, because I personally haven't heard too much about it, but I could obviously
yeah
be ignorant to the fact of it.
yeah. And there's not yeah it's not as big. It's not quite big in England at the moment.
Yeah, Brazil, like you said, is probably
Yeah,
like
it's
that's
the
where
South
my
American
yeah
countries.
mind goes. My mind goes straight to the Ronaldinho advert, the Joga Bonito advert, where it
Yeah,
cuts from like him playing as a kid to him playing like grown
yeah,
up. Um,
definitely.
yeah, that's what comes into my mind. I'm pretty sure Neymar's got like a Red Bull tournament as well, doesn't he? Like a football tournament.
Yeah. I think they do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You said before like it's like technique based, and it improves your technique for football.
Yeah.
What other benefits do you think there are to like supplementing your football with futsal?
Um, well, I think it's people don't notice, but it's very tactical. I say
Right.
it's more tactical than football. Like the movements that you have to make in tight spaces and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, in defensive positions, you have to work as a unit because
Yeah.
there's only like four of you, out four players.
Hmm.
So it's very tactical and technical, obviously as well.
And it is a like you said before, it's like a quicker paced game in it. So it's is it 2 minute,
Yeah.
2 20-minute halves?
Two 20-minute halves, yeah. But then when the ball goes out, the clock stops. So it's a bit like basketball.
Oh, okay. So
So
right,
it's a bit
okay.
longer, really.
Right. So like the actual game could last for like 30, 40 minutes depending on how
Yeah,
long
yeah,
the ball's out of play for.
yeah,
Right, okay. Yeah, I think I heard that they might be trying to change that in football eventually as well because of the amount of time that it goes out of the pitch.
yeah.
But I don't know how that would work because like stamina issues would be
Yeah, I think
mental.
that will be difficult on the players, like physically.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah,
Because there's some mad stat that like an actual game of football is only like actually 70 minutes if you count like
yeah.
ball in play sort of thing.
Mm.
Um, and you're allowed timeouts as well. Is that correct or?
Uh, yeah, you allowed like a manager can call like a stop call, and for a minute they can like discuss tactics, like a bit like basketball as well.
Right. Okay. So do you think it is actually more like basketball than football, other than the actual like
Yeah,
ball
like the
used and
the
stuff?
rules are a bit like basketball, a bit,
Right. Okay.
um, but it's very related to football as well.
Yeah. So it's like a crossbreed.
Yeah.
Um, and then you were playing for Birmingham for 2, 3 years then, and then you got an England call up.
I was playing for Birmingham for about um, a year and a bit, and then I trialed for the England under 19s team,
Right.
um, and then I got in. There was a difficult like process. Like there's like loads of training sessions that you had to go to, like different levels to get to the actual team. Um, and I was doing well in those, and I got picked for the 19s team. Um, and then we had a different few games in like abroad. I went to Portugal against a Portugal team, and
Yeah.
they're very good, like they're top five in the world.
Okay.
And I did quite well there. And the manager actually got I think he had heart surgery, so we had a different man. We had the actual England senior manager manage the 19s team,
Oh, okay.
and he noticed me playing and he liked me, So that's how I got the call up for the men's team.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that Portugal's like top five. What other European teams are quite big in futsal?
Like Portugal, Spain, Brazil,
Portugal, Spain,
um,
Brazil.
Argentina,
Sounds
Russia.
like more
Yeah,
more the Latin teams.
yeah, yeah.
Must be big
Like
in Latin competition.
Russia, like some of the European teams are good. Like Russia, um, they're very good as well. Like
Yeah.
surprisingly, like in football they're not as good, but in futsal they're very good.
Do you find that most of the countries who play well in football are also good in futsal, other than like some outliers like Russia?
Yeah,
Because like
yeah.
Portugal,
Well,
Spain, Brazil are obviously all really really big.
yeah, definitely. Like the most technical, like gifted players are futsal is very integral in part of their like DNA really.
Yeah, yeah, I get you. You were saying to get to the under 19s, you had to go through like a series of sort of training sessions slash tests, I guess you could call them. Could you like detail them a bit more? Like what were some of the like training sessions like?
Yeah, so the training sessions were like first they were just like a bunch of guys who wanted to get into the team, and they were just basically like see if you could play really, and then after a bit they had like an emerging talent group, and we used to play against the under 19s team, and we used to just basically see if you could compete at that level really, and they used to like see if you could like basically compete really. That's it.
So do they just like if there's like 20 of you, do they just put you in like four different fives and then sort of like just keep on going five aside, five aside, five aside, and then see like
Yeah, yeah,
who's
yeah.
playing
So
good?
we yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was basically just like basically a competition to see if you could compete at that level and if you could excel really.
Right,
And there's a few training sessions, but the training sessions weren't um they were just like possession drills really. That's all it was.
right, okay, okay.
Yeah,
And then they'll just like identify who they think is the best out of like
yeah,
the
yeah,
group.
yeah. Like and what they need for their squad as well.
So what other positions in futsal? Obviously, you've got your goalkeeper, and then is it similar to football of just like a defender, midfielder,
Well, yeah,
attacker?
you might have like fixed, which is basically a defender, like centre back really.
Hmm.
Um, and they have to be obviously a good tackler and also can pass the ball quickly and well, um, like, because they can see the whole game, so they've got the vision, so they can have to be a good passer. And then
Right.
you have your wingers, um, who are good dribblers and like can score goals and like get a good assist as well. Um,
And then you
and
striker.
and then your striker, which is your pivot,
So
and
I
yeah,
can't remember if you're a winger or a striker. You play quite
a
forward.
winger plays a winger. Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, because so do you have many different formations like then? Because there's only four outfield players, so there's only like a number of
Yeah, yeah.
combinations that you could
There's
probably have.
there's formations like
I can
you,
imagine a diamond.
you have a diamond or a
Yeah.
box,
Right.
um, but like when you're attacking, you have different formations when attacking.
Right. Okay. So it's a
Yeah,
little
and
fluid.
yeah, different. Yeah, so there's different like setups that you play when
So
attacking. And
as a box with like two defenders, two wingers,
yeah,
and
two
then
two wingers, two strikers. Yeah,
oh, okay, two wingers, two strikers,
yeah,
and then you could like, and that's if you're defending, and then you could probably pivot into a box if you're attacking to get more
yeah,
people
yeah,
on
yeah.
the pitch.
Yeah, you
Right.
can. Yeah.
What does like England usually go
Well, we
for
normally play
Birmingham?
as a diamond,
Okay.
um, and then we like you can change when you're high at the pitch, like different formations. So you can play like a L shape.
How would that work? What?
So you have one person in one corner in the top left corner, and then
Right.
uh, one person
Oh,
in
okay.
the so it's an L, like an L.
Right. Okay. So like who's at the bottom of the L's the defender, and then you've got three attackers.
Yeah, yeah,
Right. Okay. Okay.
yeah,
I
yeah,
get you. I get you. That's probably when you like you dominate in sort of the game. You can just go balls to the wall.
Yeah, yeah. That's just to change play up a bit.
Yeah, yeah. Who do you think's the hardest team that you've came up against so far?
Um, well, because I've only played one game for the senior team, but Portugal, the under-19s team,
Right.
when I was at the under-19s for England, that was probably the hardest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably say them. Yeah.
Have you faced Brazil or Spain? Because you're saying
No, no,
they're
no,
the good ones.
nah, not based on you.
Right. And then we're getting to your England call up. How was that? What was like getting the call saying that you're gonna represent for the senior team? As you said, you already knew the
Yeah,
manager and he identified you, but
yeah,
still, I
yeah,
imagine it would have been a bit of a buzz.
yeah, yeah. I was surprised really, like when I was called up for like the first training session, because I just about got into the 19s team, and
Yeah.
even though I did well there, I thought I've cemented my place at the 19s, but I didn't think I'll get the first team call up.
What? So how old were you when you got the first team call up?
I was 18.
18. Well,
Yeah,
I'm guessing you were probably one of the younger players then in the squad.
yeah, yeah. I was one of the youngest. Yeah,
And then what the manager, as you said, he liked you at the under-19s level when you took over for a bit, and then what he just rings you and says, come train with the big lads now."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a an email and then a call and then I did well in the training sessions, which led me to get my debut last year, I think. Yeah.
And that debut was in the home
Home
nations
Nations,
tournament,
yeah, yeah.
right? So what is that tournament? Is that just
It's
basically like
like England, Scotland, Northern Ireland. Um, so those, and then yeah, so those three teams really,
and then
And Wales.
Wales? So then
Yeah.
how many games is normally that? Is that like a knockout thing
So
or is
it's
it a
just
group
basically
stage?
it's basically like a group stage. So whoever gets some missed points.
Right. So everyone just plays each other's once, and then whoever's at the
Yeah,
top's at
yeah,
the top.
yeah,
And then you said that you only had one appearance during
yeah,
that, or
yeah.
did you play?
Against Northern
Okay,
Ireland.
against Northern Ireland.
Yeah,
What was that like? Did you feel
that
like
was
a
yeah,
big difference between under-19s and senior?
yeah. I think the pressure and then I think the intensity was it was similar to like training sessions, but the pressure was obviously playing for your country is huge,
Yeah.
and then yeah, but yeah, so I only had a few minutes, but it was really enjoyable.
Obviously that was last year, so pre-COVID. Was there like a big crowd there,
Um,
or was
yeah,
it
yeah,
a
yeah. There was like I think there was like 200 people there.
oh, fair play?
Yeah, so
So this is in London, isn't it? The
what?
indoor.
No, it's in Burton Albion. It's in where the St George's Park, the where the actual England team train.
Right.
So
Okay.
where the
Okay.
games are. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay. Fair play. Fair play. Um, I actually saw you, I think, for the first time on a video, but I can't remember what video it was. 2 seconds.
Was that like a pro direct?
That was it. That was it. Was
Yeah.
it like young Philly in?
Young Philly and Harry Pinero, I think. Yeah.
That was it. Yeah, yeah. So then they're
Yeah.
going through the names, and they're like Munmeet Jagpal. I'm like, whoa, hold up a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I recognize like a name like that.
Yeah.
That was that the training center. Was that where you?
Yeah. That was where we play.
Right. Okay.
And that's where we train as well.
That's quite good
That
for
was
you then, because it's quite local, isn't it?
yeah, it's only like an hour away. Like most of the lads have to travel like 3 hours, 4 hours to get
Yeah.
there.
Do you think there's a lot of London lads who play for England? Because
Yeah,
you like
there is a lot of London lads. Yeah,
because
I mean,
there's the street football tournament as well, the Last Stand. So episode
yeah,
one was with Gundeep who set up that, and you'd
yeah,
imagine like a lot of people doing football tournaments in the cages down in London. You were saying there was
yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
them. So I
yeah.
imagine that converts quite well. So
Yeah, there's I think there's a team that in London that competes in that pro futsal. I think.
right, okay. So
Yeah,
what did they have? How does do you have like a league when you're playing for Birmingham? Is it other teams,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
like city-based teams, or is it like anybody can make their own team and then join a league?
Or there is a national league.
Right.
There's a few London clubs like us in Birmingham. Um, there's a team in Newcastle and like different places as well.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I didn't know there
yeah,
was a
yeah.
team in Newcastle. I'm
I think
from
it's called.
Newcastle. I didn't even know I'm from there's a team
Yeah.
there. Fair play. I'll have
So
to check
yeah,
that.
so it is decent,
Right.
but I think the game will start at February time,
The games will
around
start
then
back up
because of
around
COVID.
February. Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not sure really at the moment.
Yeah, like most things in the world have been affected by COVID, and futsal is included in that.
Yeah,
With the FA announcing that they're going to stop funding the futsal team.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that's even stopped your Euro 2022 qualification as well, hasn't it?
Yeah. So they announced it like September that they were gonna cut the funding, um, and like completely cut it, which was which was a bit unfair because the other sports that um were cut were like 30% cuts, but
Right.
futsal was like 90% cut down. And
Why do you think that is? Why do you think they've just went
I'm not sure
30% of
really
this?
well. I just they just don't see it as an important sport and they don't I don't feel like they don't really care about it as much as the other sports.
What are the other sports that they cut like less so?
So like so football,
Hmm.
the women's football team as well.
Right. Okay. And
Yeah,
then
so,
for futsal, they just came in and did like
yeah, just completely abolished it really.
that. Yeah, that's a bit
Yeah,
of a
so
dodgy one.
it is really difficult.
Do you think that they'll end up you'll end up regaining funding after COVID, or do you think this is like
Yeah,
a one of them things where it's like they can just put the stamp on it now and
no,
because
I think they will maybe in 2 or 3 years time.
right, okay.
Yeah, but it's all right for me, but for like lads who have coming towards the end of their career, it's the
Hmm.
last time they're going to play really.
Yeah, yeah.
Difficult for them.
It is a bit
Yeah,
it's a bit unfair when you think like because I seen that you were supposed to travel to I can't remember the country, but it was for Euro 2022
yeah.
qualification, and they
North
stopped it.
Macedonia.
Sorry,
It was North Macedonia. They
that
were.
was it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that was it. And they stopped it for safety precautions, but then at the same time, you've got the Premier League and all the
yeah,
other like
yeah,
lower leagues that are still going on all the time. Which is
yeah,
like,
yeah,
if you think of like, if football can continue, surely futsal being a similar sport should also be able to
yeah,
continue.
yeah,
It's it seems like a dodgy one, like to be honest.
yeah.
Do you
And
think if England was like higher up in the rankings, where are England sitting in like a
like
global rankings?
50th.
50th.
Yeah,
Whereas in like football, we're still quite in like the top 10. Do you think
yeah,
that might be another reasoning behind it as well?
yeah. Well, I think that's mainly because we don't take it as seriously as compared to other countries.
Yeah, because of the
That's why we
popularity.
are 50th, and we haven't really progressed really.
Why do you think that is? What do you think would change that in the future? If like, imagine you're the chairman of futsal,
Yeah.
and you're trying to get people into futsal. What would you do to like to broaden its horizons for the future?
Obviously, funding will have a lot more funding. Encouraging like kids to do it as well. And just to make it integral part of football as well. Like in Brazil, um, all they play until 14 is futsal, and then they make a decision whether to go to do football or futsal.
Right.
And, like
Okay.
all
So
the
they
top players,
start. So
yeah,
we're obviously the opposite. So we start with football, and then you
yeah,
can
yeah,
sort of supplement it if you want with futsal, but not everybody does.
yeah, yeah,
And then you continue with your football, and then some people
yeah,
might go
yeah,
into futsal. Whereas there, futsal, and then if you want, you can go play that football game
yeah,
as well, or stick with futsal.
yeah, yeah,
Because if you think about like when I was looking at like back in the day with like Joga Bonito was a massive like obviously campaign. with
Yeah.
all the Brazilian footballers. They literally were like the epitome of sort of futsal, like that Ronaldinho advert that
Yeah.
we've seen
Yeah.
before. I remember. Do you remember Billy Wingrove going down to? I can't remember where it was, but you met Ronaldinho, and he was literally like showing him having a game of futsal. Do you remember that advert from ages ago?
No, I haven't seen that. But
That was a good one. I think he's part of like the F2 or something now.
yeah, Billy Wingfield, yeah.
Yeah, so him way back in the day, this is like 10, maybe 10, 15 years ago now.
Okay.
He went down to Brazil and was basically like there looking at like a little academy that Ronaldinho had in the
Yeah.
Brazil setup. And yeah, he was just basically doing bits on this futsal court, but it's
Yeah.
so much like more entertaining to watch, in my opinion, because it, like you
Yeah.
said, it's more fast paced, it's more technical,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like in a closer space, so you're always you can't really, I mean, you can pass out, but there's always going to be like really close quarters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I was watching the England game yesterday, and although it was 3-0, which is a
Yeah.
good score, like you can easily
Yeah.
fall asleep during that as well. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Like, because do you think something like the NBA sort of like type marketing would work with futsal, or do you think it's just like you would just need ridiculous amounts of funding? Because that is,
I think you need funding and like just for everyone to recognize it, like to see it as important and how it can help football as well, like it to be an integral part of football.
yeah,
Um, I think that's what you need to do really.
yeah, yeah, like educate people basically. But
Yeah.
education is expensive, as you say, with funding.
Yeah.
Also, like recently this week has Jan Dander, the Swansea player,
Yeah.
has came out and he said that he suffered from like racist abuse and stuff going
Yeah.
through the ranks in football as an Asian player, because there isn't many British
Yeah.
Asian players. Although we make up like a ridiculous portion of the population when it
Yeah.
comes to sports, there's hardly any of us in there. Did you face anything similar? I know you said you were in West Brom where there was other Asian players, but did you face any sort of similar discrimination, or was everything all hunky dory for yourself?
Not really. I don't think I faced anything really, but I felt maybe sometimes people didn't um, looked at me a certain way, and that's it really. I don't think I've faced anything like any racist abuse or anything like that.
Right.
So I'm quite lucky in that way. Um, and yeah, well, the England team, like they've been really good, like helping me, bringing me in, and
Mm,
making me feel a part of the team. So yeah, I haven't faced anything any racist abuse or anything like that.
cool. Do you think that's because obviously in West Brom you were surrounded by a lot of other Asian players as
Yeah,
well, so
yeah,
it's probably like it's a lot more common.
yeah. It's probably like
Whereas,
yeah. So maybe my parents like um, sugarcoating me or you know, um, but yeah, I haven't really faced anything really. Like yeah,
why do you think when it comes to sports there isn't that many Asian faces? Like the only two that I think are a well, there's yourself representing England. There's Jan, who's playing for Swansea and
yeah,
doing really good at the moment, and then there's Sarpreet, who plays
singing, yeah,
for Bayern, which was
yeah,
like a high profile move, but even he's like still he's not like first team or anything. He's I think he's on loan at the moment. He's still like
yeah,
breaking through. So it's when you talk about like people who are actually representing a high level in basically the most popular sport in the country in football and futsal. There's only you and Jan in England. Do you think why do you think that is?
Um, I
I know
think
these are like deep questions
yeah,
for
no,
yourself
but
to answer, but like just what your thoughts are on it. I'm not gonna say that whatever you say is the holy grail of
yeah,
why there's no Asians in, but just your opinions.
yeah, I think it's just time will tell really. I think you gotta, I think you gotta really wait and see. I think there are there are a number of Asian players that are coming through, like that I know that are decent, good players, or in academies and stuff like that.
You want to give a
But
shout out to any?
Huh?
Do you want to give a shout out to any? Because I'm not
Well,
that familiar with too
from
many.
social media, I've seen like an Asian player at Tottenham
Okay.
who Dylan Markanday, and he's like at
Right.
the 23s team. And he yeah, so there are a few good players out there. I think it's just you gotta really wait really and see hopefully a few if, like, Asian players will come through.
It's taken its time though, hasn't it? Like, because I mean,
Yeah,
Apane have been here for a very long time, and we're only starting to see
yeah.
them.
So I think at the start originally it was about being like get a good job first, security, like don't really worry about football. But I think
Yeah.
now um like parents are now encouraging kids to play sport and stuff like that, which is good.
Do you think social media helps as well? Because like you say, you're aware of other footballers, like Apane footballers,
Yeah,
because of you seen it on social media. Whereas maybe like 10 years ago, where there's no Instagram, Facebook's like pretty much
yeah,
non-existent. Um, there's you're not aware of it, so you don't think it's a possibility. If that makes sense.
yeah. I think it's good to have like role models. To see an Asian player like play for Swansea, um, and be a professional is like it is inspiring. I never really had that as a kid, so you don't really see yourself there. Like it's difficult, so it
Yeah.
makes it kind of harder. Um, when you have like more role models and it's more inspiring, and you'll get more players coming through once you make that first breakthrough.
For you, who were your role models in the futsal world then when you were growing up?
Well, when I was growing up, I mainly had role models like football, like so I had like Steven Gerrard because I was a Liverpool supporter, so
Right.
I used to see them.
Was a Liverpool supporter.
No, I'm
Or,
still a
still.
Liverpool supporter.
Okay. Well, congrats for your recent success.
Yeah,
Newcastle's recent success was like 20, 30 years ago, so
yeah,
not a fun
yeah.
time up here.
Yeah, so I think it's just about having like role models really, and then that will really help to have the first breakthrough really.
So do you think, like, for yourself, because you didn't have any um, role models to look up to that looked like yourself, was
Yeah.
the inspiration to be the role model, or do you not even does that not come into your mind because it could add
Yeah.
pressure?
Well, if I am a role model, then that's great. But I don't really see myself as one. But if I am, then I'm trying to do my best to uphold that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And you said that you think that futsal's going to come back roughly February 2021. Um, is that did you say that was with England or with Birmingham or
No,
both?
that's just the national team, the national league. So Birmingham
Right.
really,
Okay.
but that's just a guess really. Like
It
they
could
could
get
just
pushed, kept on
yeah,
getting pushed back.
they could just scrap it this year. The
Right.
whole
Okay.
Yeah, they could do that.
Because we're in like obviously lockdown now, and what is it? Elite sports are still allowed to continue. So I don't know if you've checked or anything, or if anybody's like checked. Is futsal considered like an elite sport in the UK? So is it allowed to continue now,
No,
or is it
I don't
is it
know.
on
I don't
hold?
think it is. No. So
Right.
yeah, I think it's basically whatever the government says really, and then like if they can allow gyms back open and like arenas back open,
Hmm.
then we can start allowing futsal back in. Really.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Which is nuts how they've like let gyms close as well now recently. Like
Yeah,
we've
yeah.
seen that thing in Liverpool when they were tier 3 and that one gym staying open. I don't know if you kept up to
Um,
that story.
no, I never heard about that.
It was like one guy, like an independent gym. He had his own gym, and then they went into tier 3, and he basically just went like, "No, I'm not closing."
Yeah,
So
actually, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I've
he
heard
did
that.
like
Yeah,
the rounds on social media. I think he was on like so many news outlets as well.
yeah, yeah.
But
I
like the
think,
police were like at his door saying, "We're gonna give you £1,000 every 3 hours or something."
yeah, yeah,
Like if we come back and in 3 hours you're still open, you're going to get another £1,000 fine. And
yeah,
like, I'm not closing. I'm not closing. Which fair play to him, which is
yeah.
a lot of balls to do that. But I don't know. I don't know if this was just a rumor, but apparently he was backed by Pure Gym, so I think Pure Gym were like financially helping him. Because then
Okay,
if because he also had like 100,000 signatures to go down to Parliament and
okay.
have it like discussed in Parliament. So then
Yeah,
if that went through, that meant that during this
Huge.
lockdown, it would
Yeah,
have been open, but I don't know if it just didn't happen in time or anything. But
yeah.
it's not good for like physical and mental health. How have you been coping with I guess the added fame from playing internationally, or the added pressure of playing for playing for England? Has that weighed on you and your mental health, or just not
No, I
really?
think I've been fine really. You know, it was really nice to like people to recognize me like last year, but obviously that's died down now with England being scrapped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was it was good. I didn't really suffer any mental health or anything like that.
What about during this whole lockdown thing? Because if you're a sporty person and
Yeah,
be
well,
confined to your house.
I was just like keeping fit really, going to the park really regularly, like
Mm.
training and stuff like that. And uh, yeah, so it didn't really weigh down on me like that much, but it was difficult not playing, you know, futsal like and football
Yeah,
with your mates stuff like that. It was difficult, like originally, yeah.
yeah, definitely, definitely. So, start with the quick fire questions. What are you most proud of so far?
Playing for England.
What is your favorite memory of your career so far? Playing for England.
Yeah.
What are you most looking forward to?
Oh, probably for the England setup to be back up again, hopefully.
What is your biggest motivation?
Um, to keep my family proud.
Sick. How did you celebrate your first major success? And sort of a second part to that would be, what is your first major success? What do you consider your first major success? And then how did you
Probably
celebrate it?
like representing my country for the for men's team.
Mhm.
You know, just celebrate with my family really.
Um, what is your definition of success?
Um, Hard work and uh, doing your best really.
I'll pivot the question a tiny bit more. Like, is there a specific milestone where when you reach that milestone, you think I'm successful?
No, you don't, because you don't want to. Because once you've reached that, then you're just going to relax off. So you just want to do as best you can really, and
Yeah,
get as far as you can in
and
life.
then
Really.
yeah, so and then the last one, because it's the KultureKast podcast, is how do you think your culture has affected you in your career and journey thus far?
Um, probably made me more like humble and um, more down to earth. I could say, yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, well, thank you for your time.
No problem. Thanks for
Anything?
that.
No, no, sound. Anything you want to plug? Do you want to? I know you like. I haven't really seen you that active on social media, but if you want, I can put like all the links and stuff. And
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
anything else that you want to plug? I know you've got that link in your bio at the moment for the FA. Do
Oh yeah. To the petitions.
you want to talk about that so
Yeah,
people know
that's is
what to click?
so that was just petitions for to try and get basically get the FA to fund to basically at least get some funding for the England team.
Right,
So yeah, that's just a petition put to get the government and then to talk to the FA about it.
right. Yeah, that's on your Instagram, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'll leave the link to that in the description below. And yeah, thank you very much.